Okay, hello everyone. I've just got Will DeLucy, Amplify MD, just joining me here to have a quick chat about some breaking news that's just hit the tape. That's rumour mill was in full flow this morning. Firstly, talking about ill health potentially of Theresa May that was circulating. Then some chatter about snap election. It caused a wave of selling pressure in cable originally, that's sterling dollar, only to be countered then by a bit of a relief rally back to exactly pretty much where we were trading pre the rumours circulating, on confirmation then that we are to have a snap election on the 8th of June. So got Will with me because we were just in conversation about what this really means. Is it a good thing, bad thing, and then ultimately what does it mean for the market? Because as much as we have political views, which quite often differ, but the important thing is how do we read the market and how does this have an impact? So Will, your first thoughts?
My first thought is actually this is the right thing to do. What Theresa May stated was that not only is there a lack of cohesion within the Conservative Party, the recent comments from both the Liberal Democrats and Labour have been particularly contentious in terms of the type of Brexit deal that gets done. In fact, for Labour it was frustrating. I found frustrating that they voted to support Brexit and then only a few weeks afterwards said, but we will vote against any type of Brexit deal which isn't perfect in every single way, which kind of puts Theresa May in an impossible position. There's no way this can be a good result, and therefore I think by calling this snap election she is giving the country to say, look, we've now had the initial shock of the initial vote. Since then there's been a fallout of cohesion. There's the way that the UK political arena is set means the UK cannot get a good deal. We're either for this or against it. The one way to find out is to have this general election, and let's find out once and for all where people stand, whether we go ahead with this or not.
Yeah, I think from a strategic point of view, I think it's a bit of a stroke of genius really, and timing wise, because you've got the French election on Sunday, and we know that Europe are going to be sidelined by that, not just by Sunday, but we have a second round coming on beginning of May. EU's Barnier said we're not going to talk about Brexit until the 22nd of May. Now you've got a UK election on the 6th of June, and so, or 8th of June, excuse me. And so, you know, if you want to, what does this achieve by her gaining a likely majority? Well, let's just have a quick look at a recent YouGov chart about if there was an election tomorrow, how would UK voters vote? And you can see the Conservatives have been gaining more and more popularity, a bit of a byproduct of a lack of credible opposition, certainly in regards to Corbyn and the Labour Party. But then what this will give her is a greater majority, a stronger presence in Parliament, which means then that while Europe is dealing with these political headaches, i.e. France and also Germany coming into the year, you're strategically positioning yourselves to have a harder angle for negotiating with a greater mandate, all being well, if Theresa May gets her way. And so I think it's quite important, the timing of what she's done here, because this is obviously a massive U-turn of what she said previously. I mean, on that U-turn point though, Anthony, you were mentioning this is politics as we know it today. This is the new normal, which is when you have such fluid and dynamic situations, actually politicians are turning on a sixpence. We've just seen it with Donald Trump, his four main pillars of pre-election campaign being reversed, every single one. And it was only, a week ago or so that Theresa May was actually saying exactly the opposite to what she has just communicated to us now. So I think this is a new era for politicians. This is a new type of environment where there's such fluidity and uncertainty over the current state of geopolitics. Certainly for us here at Amplify Trading, it keeps us on our toes and keeps volatility high. Yep. I think, well, just to finish off then, a quick look at the actual chart. Let's have a look at what we're looking at in cable. As I said, we're literally back to the 126 handle, which puts us on a full retracement really of when those initial rumours kicked off. So we're back to net flat on that move. But longer term, there is a few interesting things to think about here. Obviously that 128.05 in the futures was a really important support level post EU referendum, that big drop, and then we got close to testing it. Really that 128 is key on the upside. Now, where do I personally think that we go from here? Well, although we've had a short-term relief rally on the confirmation, actually I see this as a a snap election is ultimately more of a negative, because then if she does then have the ability to negotiate more hardball with Europe, this will only make the situation more complicated. This will only add net negative on the political side in an economy that's going to be suffering from increasing inflation.
I would argue actually both sets of scenarios are negatives now for cable. Number one, if she does actually now win more power for the type of hard conservative Brexit that she was looking for, then that's a negative for sterling. But it's also going to be a negative for sterling if she loses, because then there's complete chaos. Who knows then what happens? It puts us into a very messy situation. So I'm not quite sure how. I think this is the right thing to do because it needs to happen, but I don't think either scenario of this election can be positive for the pound.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.